So there's no real new news today, but the leftists on Twitter are crying again, crying for their masters at Ofcom to come and shut down people's speech because there was some BBC Question Time night or whatever it was. Nigel Farage and Piers Morgan are talking about immigration, and supposedly the other presenters should have reined them in. And I'm sitting there, rein them in. It's like, should we really have the TV presenters that are sitting there at these debates, constantly having to sit there and not actually thinking about the debate, not actually thinking about the conversation, but constantly there thinking, okay, Ofcom regulation 104 says, say this. It's like, well, we're not trying to be little, just like little video game bots, like internet bots, trying to just like scripted AI machines. Like, okay, he broke that rule, so I need to rein him in. No, just have a conversation. It's TV. No, nobody should be sitting there forcing you to say what they're trying to say. And I bet you, if one of these left-wing presenters came and talked about climate change and, feminism and trans people in sports, I bet those same people would not be sitting there going, rein him in, rein him in. They'd be like, no, it's just factual, it's subjective, it's not biased. You're just denying science. They don't need to be reined in. It's like, okay, so that's what you're doing. It's like, how about I just say all the immigration stuff is objective and unbiased? Why should we rein them in then? We can just make that same argument back and forth. But if you're not going to protect other people's freedoms, if you're going to be biased, right? If you're going to say, well, Ofcom said this, so they got to rein them in. But then when your guy does it, you're silent. You can't do that. It's like sitting there, saying, well, we super care about tax fraud. We super care about all these things. We super care about sexual crimes. But then you go after Donald Trump. But then the second Joe Biden does it, grooms his own daughter, all this stuff. No, but it's okay. It's like, okay, you got to be consistent. You can't sit there and say free speech for us, but no free speech for them. You got to be either free speech or no free speech. You cannot be in favor of one side. I support everybody's free speech. If you're a vegan, you're sitting there lying about your vegan misinformation. You know what? I'm going to let you spout that misinformation because honestly, I'm not threatened by it. You all look horrible, so I'm not threatened by it. People can look at it, see through all of it. So I don't really care about your misinformation because I know I'm right. So, let's be more honest and good.